Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Hey, Roberters, and Robertalinos. Thank you for joining us tonight for this viewing of Lee and Casey. I have my power panel, as I called them earlier, one person missing. But Potato and Heather J are with us. I'm going to introduce them in just a second. But how are you guys feeling about the laundry situation now that we've had a couple hours to digest? I watched Peter, the lawyer you know, on WFLA for a few minutes, and he told JB that he thought there was a 10% chance, 10% chance that would go to trial. That was his prediction. So what do you guys think about that? I think that's too bright. But I think you guys are going to be a little shocked to hear what Mr. Lee and Miss Casey had to say. So I apologize for being late. I thought that this was set for 7:30. So without further ado, let me introduce our panel. We only have Heather yet, but Potato will be here in a second. Hey, Heather. What is happening with you? Why don't you give me your thoughts on the laundry thing earlier? Yeah, so what'd you think? What'd you think of him? A little wordy. Yep, and I did get a message from Bullhorn Betty afterwards because I texted her during the thing. And she had a pretty good analysis of it that she sent me in a voice message. And oh, you were muted, but now you're not. So say hello again.
Hello, everyone, again.
So she thought at first, she said that there was no way it was going to trial. That was how she felt. And then she changed her mind as it went on, is what she said. But yeah, Bullhorn was sitting behind there, and she was like, she had like a good point that there was good arguments on both sides. Like the laundry's lawyer kind of was saying that it was outrageous, or the Petito's lawyer was saying it was outrageous, that they didn't respond to the Petitos in that time. And the laundry's lawyer is saying we didn't have to, but they brought up the Fifth Amendment, which was if there's a crime committed, you can't practice your Fifth Amendment. So that was where the judge was like, well, is there a crime? Is there not a crime type thing? So
I thought that judge was very good.
Yeah. But when I rewatched it, I noticed in the very beginning that the laundry's lawyer was the one that made that comment. I don't know if you caught it, but when the judge said, I'm appearing virtually, I'm practicing the COVID restrictions or whatever he said. And then when the laundry's lawyer started his statement or his argument, he said, oh, Judge, it's a little weird to, be staring at a box up there on the bench.
I did hear that, and I was like, really?
Yeah, that was their lawyer. And the judge is like, well, it is what it is. And he said, okay, I guess I'll find a fixed spot on the wall and stare at that. And I thought, not a good way to start the hearing.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, I caught that after. Hi, Potato.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right, thank you.
What are your thoughts on today? The laundry
I'm pretty
situation.
much the same as Heather. I started out thinking that it wasn't going to go to trial, but then in the end I was thinking, well, maybe it actually is. I think the judge gave them both a lot of time to explain stuff. And yeah.
He definitely did. So he can't really say, they can't say they didn't get their arguments heard in court. You know what I mean?
They were definitely heard.
Yeah, I would say so.
Overheard.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the laundries. Their attorney was definitely heard for way longer than he was supposed to be.
And I think it was Heather that said in chat, I hope that if it does go to trial, they have to appear.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely should.
I'm surprised I didn't see them on the Zoom, and they were very well could have been. I don't know. There was like several people I didn't know what the names were, but Bertolino was sitting there muted. I saw Stephen Bertolino. I was hoping we'd hear him and get some new sound bites.
Maybe he was streaming it for them.
Maybe what?
He was streaming it for the laundries.
He could have been watching it for them.
Or they could have been under different names in there. I don't think they put their actual names.
No.
Interesting stuff, though.
It is.
Because it does kind of change. It does set a precedence. I mean, not that we really see cases like this too often, but I mean, I'm sure that there's cases where this has happened before, maybe not to this extreme, but you know, when someone in a domestic situation is looking for a family member, they may have been lied to before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure it's happened, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. Just not broadcast to this extent.
Yeah, not a live manhunt for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, crazy. Okay, so let's switch gears to Lee. I cannot wait for you guys to hear Lee. So this is about 45 minutes long, and I want to play it at regular speed because it's kind of hard to hear anyways at times. I did take all the background noise out from the jail. So there's certain points it's still a little bit hard to hear, and you might have to like turn it up a little bit. But I think I did pretty good with catching everything he says. Because the first time I watched it, there was a lot of things I couldn't hear at all. And when I played it again after I edited the audio, I was like, holy smokes. So in one part, and towards the beginning, and I'm not sure if it's right straight away or not straight away. He goes through a list of people with her. Mm-hmm. And the question is like, can I trust this person? And I want you guys to pay attention when they go through and how she answers, because they go through people. It's almost, and she's like, you know, she's closing her eyes, trying to think and remember. It's almost like she's trying to remember. They want to know, did you talk to any of these people? Or when was the last time you talked to these people? Would they know about this? So when you hear them he asks about Tony, and then he asks about people she hasn't seen in 4 years. So the people she hasn't seen in 4 years cannot be trusted. And then certain people she's on the fence. Like that might mean that they know a little bit. And then there's other people that, yes, you can trust. And she throws out this bourgeois name. Patrick Bourgeois.
Patrick Bourgeois.
Yeah, Bourgeois went and visited her. He was, I don't even know if that dude exists. I've never looked him up, but.
No, I looked him up because I wanted to see if he was actually a real person or one of her fantasy people.
Is he real?
Because I think that Patrick Bourgeois is like an actor or something as well. But he is a real person. He's someone that she went to school with, but she hasn't seen him since school, apparently. And then he turned up.
So he did go to school with her. Is it
went to school with her.
Patrick Bourgeois?
Yeah, it's Patrick.
Oh my gosh. So,
and apparently she didn't even recognize him.
Why would he go there?
Who knows?
Weird.
Strange.
Yeah, so she's like, oh, Patrick Bourgeois came and saw me, and it meant a lot and all this stuff. And then, but in the beginning, Lee starts out this is how we're going to begin. I remember now. He's going to talk about how she can communicate with them without it being monitored. So he's letting her know she can pass a letter to Jose if they're in court, and that will be given to Jose, and Jose can then give it to the family or the sheriff's department, he says. So if she passes it outside of the jail, he's telling her, you can bypass that shit. If you need to tell us anything, put it in a letter. Now, let's start listening. I'm probably going to be stopping this a lot, just FYI, because there's going to be a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go, guys.
Hey, hold on one second. Hey, can I get this turned up a little bit? Come on. I can't really hear you.
Like, can you turn it up?
Okay, I can try to speak
Yeah,
up.
she acts so normal, like she's not in jail.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
Okay. How are you?
Oh man, I don't want to start crying.
Yeah, I don't either. Let me just kind of give you a heads up. To my knowledge, we can have about I don't know if you know how.
Hang on, let me put the closed captions on because I did this on purpose. There we go. I uploaded it on purpose so that you guys would have the closed captions as well.
Come on. I can't really hear you.
Okay, I can try to speak up a little bit.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
Okay. How are you?
Oh man, I don't want to start crying.
Yeah, I don't either. Let me just kind of give you a heads up. To my knowledge, we can have about I don't know if you know how all this works, but we
No.
can have about an hour together.
Okay.
Mom and Dad are scheduled at 1 to come in and see you too.
Okay.
I had to set this up through the deputies at Lewis County because Baez couldn't do it for us, or at least he claimed, and we were having a tough time doing it for him.
Okay, did you hear that? Mom and Dad are coming to get you, or coming to see you about 1 today. So he was the first, and then they show up later. He says, I had to set this up with the sheriff's deputies because Baez wouldn't set it up for us. Or he couldn't, he says. Or that's what he says. So it seems like there was a barrier, and this is already starting to come out, between Baez, her family, and Casey.
Mm-hmm. I wonder why he wouldn't want her talking to him, though.
Well, when I'm watching this and I'm thinking about him not wanting them to talk to him, I'm thinking about that whole story, the defense's story, what Casey has claimed about her dad, the essay, yada, yada, yada.
Mm.
So
That's what I think as well. I think.
yeah, it gets interesting. It kind of starts to come together, I think.
At Lewis County because Baez couldn't do it for us, or at least he claimed, and we were having a tough time doing it for us.
Yeah, that's what he told me the other night.
So we still have visitation set up for Monday also.
Okay.
I just wanted to give you the heads up. First, I'm sure you know, or I'm sure you've been told by Jose, everything that goes on inside the jail, including this, is recorded, and anybody can listen or hear, including the deputies, including Jose, all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Okay. However, there's one thing that nobody can monitor, and that is if you're able to write a letter.
Okay.
Now, how the letters work, there is a mail system inside the courtroom,
Mhm.
and if the letter is delivered to and from the mail system, that is not monitored. If you give a letter to Jose or to anybody else, of course, they may end up reading that.
Yeah.
So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to be writing you the letter as soon as I can to get it to you, to give you that line of communication. So if you didn't feel comfortable saying something when you knew you were being recorded and monitored, that you can get that, to me that way.
Okay.
Do you have?
All I keep thinking is, if you want to say anything about what me or Dad have done to you, you can write it and give it to Jose, and no one else will know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very sus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it at all. And we're only 2 minutes in, and then he makes it known, like, you can switch jockeys if you want. They didn't like Jose. Jose didn't. Oh man, this is just crazy. Okay.
Do you have access to paper and a pen?
I can get access to that. That's not a problem.
Okay, that's the first I want to do. So I guess I just wanted to drop you some knowledge first. I think is the best thing that we should go over.
Yeah, definitely.
You already know, that about how you can reach out now. If you didn't know that already.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I wanted to go over with you, make sure that you're aware. Obviously, Jose works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Anything that you say to Jose is supposed to be attorney-client privilege. It's supposed to be in confidence.
Yeah.
How that works is, even if you ask him to reach out to the family, if you ask him to reach out to law enforcement, if you give him a letter and ask him to do it, he is not obligated to do that.
Mm-hmm.
He will make a decision if it's in his or your best interest.
Yeah.
He is his best interest too.
Mm-hmm.
At this moment, I really don't have anything against him, but I want to make sure that you realize that if you try to reach out, he may not be giving us this information. Okay?
Yeah, I understand that.
He's told us that his number one focus is you,
Mm-hmm.
and that his secondary focus is Kaylee.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is, because it's a business.
Yeah.
The truth is, and the most important thing for him, his first focus is himself.
Mm-hmm.
Then you, then Kaylee.
Mm-hmm. Hey, hold on 1 second.
He doesn't
Can we
like.
turn this up a little bit? Thank you.
What's that? Go ahead. I was gonna pause it anyways.
He doesn't like Jose at all. He's not coming out and saying it, but what he's saying definitely implies that. He doesn't trust him, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. He's worried. He's worried that they're not getting the proper communication from Kaylee. They're being kept in the dark. He's not giving them any deets, and they're worried. He's
Yep.
worried.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's so weird because he's there with a plan, right? And he's got a list of everything he's got to go over with her, and he's setting this all up
And he's straight to the point, straight away.
straight away. And she starts picking up what he's laying down too. It's crazy to watch it piece together.
All right. At least this way I won't have to strain my head to try to hear you in a minute.
Always deflecting.
Okay, keep going.
Casey.
You're fine.
I cannot speak to anybody else's focus other than what they've told me.
Mm-hmm.
What I can do is speak to my own focus.
Yeah.
What I can tell you is my number one focus is on Kaylee.
Yeah.
My second focus is you.
Yeah.
My third is Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Then Dad. Then me.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay, so Lee said my focus is you, Casey, then Kaylee, then Mom, then Dad, then me. So he put out what his focus is. He told her Jose's focus is himself.
Yes.
Then Casey, then Kaylee, and they weren't even in the equation. So he's letting her know he don't give a fuck about us, and this is about the family unit, motherfucker. So you better get in with the family unit and have your priorities the same as us, because we're all in this motherfucker together. That's what I'm picking up.
Yep, same.
Agree. Yep.
5 minutes in. Lee Anthony.
So I want to make it, and I don't give a shit about Baez. I don't give a shit about the police. I don't give a shit about anything else. Those are my priorities.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah.
I need you to tell me if my focus should be anything different than that. If anybody's priorities should be in a different order, or if I should have anybody else in there at all.
No, I think your priorities are where they should be, and that's exactly where mine are. So, honestly, I'll stay here as long as I have to. My only concern is Kaylee.
Okay. Well, and that's what I want to go over. I'm sorry, I wrote a lot of this down because there's some stuff that I wanted to make sure that you are aware of before we really started getting into anything.
Yeah.
Just so you could feel comfortable in the way that you're answering. So
I'm
that
sorry.
you know if you don't feel comfortable answering.
I'm sorry, but he sounds like a freaking deputy. Like, if you don't feel comfortable answering, is this part of Lee's role playing? Is this the sexy cop role play?
Oh my gosh.
Remember, he had to role play in her bedroom to get her to talk about where Kaylee was.
Yeah. To get some answers, he's got to be a different person than Lee.
So we got Lee role playing a police officer. We've got George looking forward to seeing pancakes. And we've got Cindy and the Jets. Something's wrong here.
This whole family dynamic is screwed up.
Yes.
Dysfunction.
It's bad.
Yes.
It's bad. All right, let's keep going.
There may be a way that you can reach out to where you would feel comfortable being a letter or something like that, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. The police are only going to go off of whatever information gets to them.
Mm-hmm.
I know for a fact that they have been reaching out to Mr. Baez.
Mm-hmm.
They have not reached out to Mr. Baez on a phone call since the 16th when you were put under arrest.
Mm-hmm.
They left 2 messages for Jose. Jose has never, I've seen the phone records, he has never returned a phone call to the police department. Now,
Listen.
he has written a letter, faxed the letter.
Jose Baez ain't stupid. He's not going to get on the horn with the Orange County detectives. He put that shit in writing. He sent a letter.
Which is what you should do. Everything should be in writing.
100%. And Lee's like, hey, they've been trying to call him, dude, and he will not return their calls. If you want to switch jockeys at any point, feel free.
Over to them. It's saying that you're willing to cooperate and things like that. When they have reached out to him since then, he has either not returned the phone call or he has, and I mean, I've got the correspondence. I saw this yesterday, and I'm not trying to knock,
Excuse me.
what he's doing
COVID.
or anything like that. But I just want to make you aware of exactly what I've been able to, confirm.
Yeah.
He's trying to put doubt in her head about her lawyer.
Yes.
He wants to get rid of Baez. I think he knows. I don't know what point they sat George down, but I was reading an excerpt from Baez's book that he wrote after this. And he said that when they invited George to the office and they sat George down and they let him know that they were going to be bringing up the SA of Casey. And in his book, he says George never denied it. They noted that he never denied it, that he looked down for about 40 seconds, and then he looked back up and he said, what else is she going to say?
Yeah, that's crazy. Why would he not explode and be like, what are you talking about? Like, this isn't true. Like, why would you do this?
Yeah.
You wouldn't sit there and just put your head down. That's like defeat. That's like, oh, crap, now it's all going to come out.
Yeah.
Especially an accusation like that. That's not some, oh, hey, you stole from the cookie jar accusation.
Right.
That's SA.
Most men that are accused of SA would, and if they're innocent, would have a very, especially on their own daughter, would have a very strong reaction.
Oh, yeah.
Strong
Very.
reaction.
Not even going to get into the bond stuff right now. I know
Yeah,
he's
no.
probably talking to you. I'm just going to leave it at that. Hold on, I just want to read through and make sure that I'm getting all this first.
So he said, I'm not going to get into the bond stuff right now. So that's, if you couldn't hear that, that's kind of hard to hear.
How did Jose become your attorney?
It just kind of happened at random in booking. I heard a couple people talking about attorneys, things like that, and they just flat out asked me if I had anyone yet, and I said no. And his name came up, and I was like, well, if he's good, can you do me a favor and pass my name along? So he came and saw me the next day. It was like immediately right after I saw the judge. So
it was just, was it an inmate? Was it a corrections officer?
It was an inmate, and there was 3 other people that confirmed it. So
okay, so that's kind of how that happened. That makes sense then. 'Cause from what I could find out, I didn't think he was court appointed. So that's what.
No.
Wow. So they didn't even know how she had come to have Jose as her lawyer at this point. He said, "I didn't know if he was court appointed or not."
Okay. What's your honest assessment? How do you feel? I mean, and remember, everybody else can watch this, so feel free to answer however you want to answer. But what's your honest assessment?
I think he's doing whatever by any means necessary to get things done quickly as far as bond is concerned. I know I am his priority. I would like Kaylee to be his focus as well, but I know that I am his client, and his concern is getting me out so I can help Kaylee. That's something that we've talked about every single time we've met.
No.
See, Lee don't like hearing that they're talking all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're talking a lot more than I think he thought.
Understand, any of us are going to say that we do feel it would be in your best interest to be able to get out and help us find Kaylee.
Of course.
However, I know that especially now that you know that you can write a letter to me or to whomever, that it's just like if you were out and you were able to talk to us when no one else was around.
Yeah. Excuse me.
There are ways, even if you're still in here, that we can still effectively search for Kaylee, no matter how comfortable or confident you feel in Jose or the police or anything.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I want to make sure that you are aware of that. Do you want to talk to law enforcement?
Yes and no. I mean, I know that I'm their, quote, person of interest. So things that I've told them before, they've looked at me like I'm feeding them a bunch of bullshit. So in a lot of ways, I'd rather things come from either you guys, my primary, my family, or my almost tied primary at this point, because Jose's been my one outlet.
Right.
So it's going to have to come from one of those avenues.
Right. Now that you know you have another outlet to the family, I encourage you to just realize, and again, you probably know Jose a little better than me at this point, even though I haven't talked to him on almost a daily basis, but that, again, I can speak for myself on my intention, and I know you know my intention.
Yeah.
So,
Would like to answer an objection.
the reason why
Request a sidebar.
No, sir. Santana.
No, sir, Santana.
Continue.
Huh?
It was,
Whoa, what is going on?
oh, it was from the court hearing, right? So they called a sidebar. Jose called sidebar, and that was the judge. I don't know what he said, but it said Santana on the.
Yeah.
So they stopped it for a second in court and then continued. So that's what happened.
All right.
I can speak for myself on my intention, and I know you know my intention.
Yeah.
So
Would like to answer an objection.
the reason why
Request a sidebar.
Request disciples. He
No,
said
sir.
request
Santana.
sidebar. Continue.
Continue.
the thing about the police, when you gave your statement about dropping Kaylee off with the nanny on the 9th, we know that's incorrect. That it's actually on the 16th.
Yeah,
So,
I know that.
Or at a time after Father's Day. Did you know that before?
I've had a lot of time to think about it, and yeah, trust me, it came to mind.
Right, and that's what I figured.
Did you catch that? He's straightening out her timeline.
Yep.
So he says, you said you dropped Kaylee off with Zanny on the 9th, and that's incorrect. It was the 16th. And she goes, oh, yeah, I was thinking about that.
Interesting. Can we just go back a little bit as well? Because Casey said that Baez wanted her to get out so that she could go and find Kaylee. And then Lee starts saying, well, if you don't want to talk to law enforcement or Baez, then there is a way for you to talk to us so that we could go and find her.
Yes. And
which also links back to when Kaylee was missing. In that 911 call, Casey says that she'd gone via other means to try and find her daughter. So is this something that happens within their family? They don't have trust of law enforcement?
I don't know. Or are they worried that something is going to be leaked out?
I think that's the case, Jay, because he's former Leo. So he knows what to say and who to say it to and how to get around certain avenues. I think he's worried about something getting out.
Yeah, it's just interesting that Casey said it herself. She'd gone via other means.
Yeah.
And that's why she contacted law enforcement as well. So that was before this. And now he's saying it back to her again. Trying to reinforce, don't trust them. You can speak to us without them knowing.
Right. And I think it's because that one little, not little, but that big dynamic in there. But, I don't know. You got to read between the lines with this because he knows they're being recorded.
It's just a lot of control, I think, went on in that family.
Yeah. He's there on a mission for sure.
And they always send him in.
Yeah, and he doesn't really care, how are you doing in there? How are you in there? Nothing about that. He has a list. He's going over the list. Very matter of fact.
Yep, straight down to business.
He's got to get his point across. I'm sorry, Heather, what'd you say?
Oh, it's like a checklist for him. It's not a conversation. We're getting down to business, and this is what we need to discuss.
Yep. Yep, and we're going to cover all these bases in 1 hour.
Yep.
After you gave your statement, and if you haven't been able to reach out to law enforcement since you made your statement to correct any mistakes like that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So, would you agree that it would be in your best interest and Kaylee's best interest to be able to give the police the accurate information so they can do their job?
But at the same time, they've misconstrued things that I've said, put words in my mouth, so that there were things that I had specifically said that I never said. So I would rather do that in the form of a letter to the detectives themselves specifically. So they have that written proof. There's no saying that I said anything, whatever. I'm not going to deal with that anymore.
This is my secret.
So it sounds like Jose has told her anything you do is going to be in writing, just like he didn't return their calls. Yeah. And he wrote a letter. So he's already coached her to what the plan is and how we're going to proceed. And Lee's a little late to the game, in my opinion, because Jose's already set the stage. He's already met with her numerous times. He told her how it's going to go, and she trusts him.
Yeah.
She has to. And that's basically what she tries to tell Lee is look, he's my only outlet. He's the only one that I've been able to talk to.
Plus, he's her ticket out of there as well.
He what?
He's her ticket out of there. She has to trust him.
Absolutely, yeah. She doesn't have anybody else. She got so lucky with him.
Oh my gosh.
She really did.
The detectives and you go through Jose for this, he could decide
not to give it to them.
Exactly. This is my suggestion to you. Write it to them directly through
Yeah.
the jail system letter, just like you would write Mom or I or anybody else a letter.
Mhm.
Send us and Jose a copy.
Yeah.
Again, do all this on your own without anybody else being made aware. That way, nobody can, Jose can't choose to only give them one page of it,
Exactly.
alter it. We can't change it or alter it. You know what I mean? It's going to be obvious that it came from you, just like you were saying. And now that we have documented proof also copies.
There's no way to misconstrue anything.
Exactly. This is that's Casey's the best way to get that information out there.
No, I completely agree with you.
Okay, and that's what we need to be able to do, is keep the line of communication open. So, because right now, here's the problem, and it's not your fault that the information that they are going off of is incorrect. I've been doing my own research. I've been talking to some of your old coworkers at Kodak and Color Vision. I have the timeline. I know that there's a Jeff Hopkins. I know that there's a Juliet. I've been able to go through all of these things.
Yes, he said he's been doing his research. He knows that there's a Jeff, whatever, and a Juliet.
And a Juliet.
So I don't know why he's saying this.
Maybe to get her talking.
Maybe to get her trust, so she'll write them.
Yeah. Because it's
think-
definitely not Juliet Lewis.
I think they're really concerned that they're not going to get any communication, and they're not going to get any communication from Baez. They're so fucking worried what's going to come out.
Yep.
I mean, if you think about it, that's what you would do if you had this secret and you were like, "Oh fuck." All
Yeah,
right,
because you suddenly...
we need to make sure that part stays within our family.
Because they suddenly lost control. Now there's someone else involved who she could be talking to, and then they're busted.
Yes. Yes. And then I have something really interesting to show you guys when this is done.
Good.
This information to detectives actually just last night.
Okay.
They're extremely interested and they're following up on it tomorrow. But my point was, because they didn't know where to look, they were looking at people that were actually Universal employees. That's why they just assumed everything was a lie.
Exactly. When I had specifically even told them not to. But again, everything that I had given them, they went off of their own assumptions on things from the very beginning.
So what we need to be able to do in order to help this move forward the way that it needs to move forward, we need to figure out the best way to constructively get them the accurate information, whether that's
Absolutely.
writing a letter yourself or you providing the information through a letter or through videos to me or mom or dad or whomever. And remember, if you do it through Jose, you may or may not want to do it. But understand, if you write something to me in a letter, Casey, I'm not sharing it with anybody. I'm the only person who's going to read it. And if there's anything that you do not want me to relay,
I'll be very specific. I know.
I'm not going to do it.
He says if there's anything that you need to tell me, no one else will read it.
That's not weird at all.
Right? How about tell everything you know to your lawyer?
Yeah. Trust your lawyer.
Yeah. They don't like that he wasn't court appointed or either. They're like, who is this guy? What's his angle going to be?
Where did he come from?
And where in the hell did he come from?
I know.
I know that you do, but I need you to trust me on that. Okay?
I definitely do.
Okay. I want to just kind of run through everything with you, whatever you feel comfortable, again, going through, but I'm going to ask you some stuff, and I know that you may or may not give me, an answer, or give me, an answer this way, and that's fine. I just want to give you the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
Feel free if you feel more comfortable not saying something, but maybe giving me a signal. Do that. Okay?
Yeah.
What I need to know is I need to know who I can trust out here, okay? I'm just going to say some names, give you the opportunity to respond if you want.
Yeah.
What I wrote down to what I thought the best way is if I can trust them, don't say anything. if either you can trust them or you want me to look into something.
Okay, so this is where they're going to do the rundown of the people. So he says, if you trust them, just don't say anything. And then you let me know who I can trust out here.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Myself. Tip me off somehow, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to start. Annie.
Don't even bother.
No, well, you're going to understand my rhyme or reason by
Yeah.
asking the people in the order in which I'm asking. Okay?
Hear him? You're going to understand my rhyme or reason by why I'm asking the people in the order that I am.
Did he get a law degree during the time that she's been arrested? Like, did I miss something?
What was the name you said? Why did she laugh?
Didn't
I thought it said Zanny.
I?
Yeah,
Thought it was
that's what I
something about
thought as well.
Zanny too. Let's re-listen.
If I can trust them, don't say anything. if either you can trust them or you want me to look into something myself, tip me off somehow, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to start.
Andy.
Don't even bother.
No, well,
Wait,
you're gonna
what was
understand my
her
rhyme or reason.
aunt that came out? Did he say Aunt Annie?
It sounded like Zanny, Annie, or Andy.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
understand.
Like Andy. It's hard to tell.
But he says you'll understand my rhyme or reason for why I'm asking you in this order. So in other words, keep listening, Casey. You'll pick up what I'm laying down. Crazy.
By
Yeah.
asking people in the order in which I'm asking, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
So, Annie.
Yeah.
Melina. Amy.
Most definitely.
Ricardo.
I don't know.
Tony.
I'd like to say yes, but I'm kind of on the fence about that one as well, unfortunately.
Jesse.
No,
Mom.
most definitely.
Most definitely,
You can.
Okay, hold on. Let me make sure that I'm clear on these answers.
I feel like this might almost be about who knows something happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who did you talk to that knows something? Right? Because, like, he said the name, no. She's like, no. And then Amy, definitely, like, yep, I definitely talked to Amy. Mom, definitely. Or who knows?
Yeah.
Definitely mom.
So on the 16th, these are people that she spoke to or tried to call, right?
And that's what I was going to pull up when we're done here. Or actually, I'll pull it up in a few minutes. The phone record of hers.
Hearing record. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And
So,
and isn't it in that order as well?
yeah, she talked to
I
those
was-
people.
Yeah, I was writing them down and I was like, wait, like I know that she spoke to Amy like almost at the beginning for about half an hour. And then there was Tony and Jesse. She tried ringing him. And then it was Cindy. So I was like, wow, it's interesting that he threw in Cindy after Jesse.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I think we definitely need to watch Amy's testimony.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that he threw their mother so high up on that list.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you automatically think that your sister trusts their mom and they would be lower?
Yeah, I think that's why he was setting that standard, right? So he was letting her know what he really wants to know. It's not really about trust. It's about something else. So it's about who knows something or who have you spoken to in that time, because this is not it's not about trust. It doesn't make sense. So it's almost like setting that standard, like mom definitely knows. Amy, I don't know, just let's let it play out.
That I have. Shaking your head for Amy and Melina. I can trust them.
Who's Melina?
For Annie and Melina, don't even bother. Don't waste your time. I'm going to be flat out honest and just tell you either way.
Okay. Amy.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't need to take anything that she says with a grain of salt or look into her or...
Not at all.
whatever.
She's one of the most genuine people.
This is the line of questioning that I'm asking for. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to figure out. Sorry if I was...
No, it's okay.
So Ricardo.
I wouldn't worry about it. I don't know what he would know, if anything, of any significance. That one is up to you.
Okay.
Tony, again, I'm on the fence about. Use your own discretion.
Okay. I appreciate that. Jesse.
No.
No, as in I don't need to...
No, as in, with things that he said, I would investigate it further, but he's not someone that I personally trust at the moment.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to find out. So
Yeah.
So you're saying yes, I should trust them, or no, I shouldn't.
Or no, you shouldn't. Exactly. Yeah.
Perfect. Mom,
Most definitely.
Dad,
Again, same.
as in most definitely.
Hmm.
Ryan.
Yes.
Okay, who is Ryan?
I don't know.
I have no clue.
I thought the neighbor with the shovel's name was Ryan.
I thought that was Brian.
Oh, is it Brian?
I think it's Brian.
Yeah, I
don't
think it's
know who
Brian.
Ryan is. And she says, yeah, you can trust Ryan.
I'm gonna look.
Yeah, I'll
I
Google
haven't
it
known
too.
him very long. I met him on the 4th of July. So no.
Oh, that was Ryan. She met Ryan
Oh.
on the 4th of July, so no.
Ryan Dunn.
Where'd she meet him on the 4th of July? At a bar?
I don't know. Can't see.
Okay, we'll keep going.
He's not someone that I know very well, so no.
Any other people, and I don't have all their names, any other people associated with Susan?
No, not that I can think of. They've all just been people that I've known on like that professional basis, if you can even call it that. It hasn't been anything of any real significance.
Okay. Is there anybody that you don't trust that you want me to be looking into?
Honestly, at the moment, I don't know. I can't think of anyone.
Okay. As of this second, who I'm going to be keeping my friends close by and names closer
Yeah.
is Jesse, Tony, possibly Will. I'm going to try to talk to him.
He's friends with Amy, so you can talk to Amy actually and probably get more information about him.
Will do. And possibly Ricardo. Anybody else that I should look into at all? Any friend through any means? I mean, you can even give me a MySpace name or something that I could figure out on my own, or portion of a phone number or anything. Please feel free to give me the info in any way that you know how. If you don't know, it's okay.
I don't know of anything at the moment.
Okay. So that's good. That's the direction I wanted, and frankly, that's where I'm going, and where I have been going. So
Yeah.
I'm going to stay on the course that I'm staying on. Let's see. Where should I, as far as any areas or places,
Hmm.
Wait for
where
it.
should I focus a search, tips, or reaching out to people?
Check things locally, Lee, in all honesty. Places that are familiar to us, to our family. ask Mom specific places that I've mentioned when her and I spoke over the last period of time, over the last few weeks. She should remember specific places.
Would you feel comfortable me having them written down? Would you feel comfortable tipping me off to those places now, or would you prefer that I just go through Mom?
Try and go through Mom. If you need more, if you need something more concrete, more specific, I can try to give you that.
Oh my
That's
God.
interesting.
Okay, so I have to go back to that day and her phone pinging in the neighborhood all day on the 16th. Where was she? Now let me show you this, you guys. This is her phone calls of that day.
The Ryan was Ryan Paisley, and it was someone from elementary school as well.
Elementary.
Yeah,
Weird.
someone that she trusted from school.
Okay, so let's see how I can make this the biggest. Okay, can you guys read that? Or no?
Or no.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's really small.
we'll go through it. Ugh, see, if I make it bigger for me, then it gets smaller for you guys. Here, we'll go like this. Is that better?
That's better.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, then we'll just scroll through it. Okay, so 1:44 is the first call on this log on the 16th. And she calls Amy.
Mhm.
And am I correct in seeing this? How long did they talk? 2,164 minutes?
No, it's the 36. It was like half an hour.
What is that first number?
I've got no idea.
Oh,
'Cause it didn't
that's not
actually
the
say.
minutes. Okay. Weird. I don't know what that
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what that was
I
either.
don't know what that column stands for. Okay, so this is the minutes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so 36 minutes to Amy at
Yeah.
1:44. We know that George supposedly left for work at what time?
Just before 1 or half 12, 12:30, something like that.
Half past his ass and a quarter to his balls.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, man. All right, so 1:44, she talks to Amy for 36 minutes. That call ends. She doesn't call Jesse right away, but she does, and she talks at 2:52 for 11 minutes.
Mhm.
Then at 3:04, wait, it says call. Oh, wait. Call begins. Casey with Amy, 36 minutes. 2:52, call ends. I'm confused with this.
Yeah, I
chart.
know. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so anyways, then 3:04, it looks like George's cell,
Mm-hmm.
and it's red. I guess that means they didn't talk.
Yeah.
Then Casey. Oh, no. I see now. All right.
Jesse, Casey,
Jesse
and George.
called her. Okay, so
Yeah.
Casey called Amy. Then Jesse called Casey.
Mhm.
Then George called Casey.
Why would Jesse be calling Casey?
I don't know.
So weird.
So Jesse called her, then George called her like 10 minutes later. And then she called Tony at 3:35. And they didn't talk. And then at 4:10, she called her mother's work, Gentiva, and her and Cindy. See, I thought they were on the phone for 34 minutes.
No, that she didn't pick up. I think she might have left like answer phone messages or something, but they didn't physically speak to each other.
Oh, okay. So she called Gentiva looking for Cindy. Then she called her cell phone at 4:11, 25 seconds, 4:11, 49 seconds, 4:13, 4 seconds, and 4:13, 29 seconds. So she
Yeah,
made 4 calls within 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
No
Yeah,
answer.
she was really trying to get hold of her.
Yep, no answer from the Cindy.
Mm-mm.
So then at 4:14, 48 seconds, she calls Gentiva again. And she's on the phone for 1.5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Then at 4:18, she texts Tony. And then Tony texts her back a minute later. Then they get on the phone at 4:19. Casey calls Tony. They talk for 1 minute. Then Casey calls Jesse. Doesn't get him at 4:21. Then calls him right back 20 seconds later and is on there for 1.25 minutes, which could be a message, right? Then at 4:25, this is all within 15 minutes. At 4:25, Casey calls Cindy's cell. Cindy doesn't pick up. 5:31, or is it 6? 6:31. She calls Cindy again. No answer. 6:32. No answer. 6:32 to the home phone. 17-minute call. And then at 7:06, another call to the home phone for 1.38 minutes.
So she wasn't at home then? From 6:30? Why would she be calling her own home if she was there?
Well, no. When did they go to Blockbuster?
8 something?
Okay. So 7:06, she's calling the house. 7:20, she calls Amy. And then 7:21, she calls Amy again. And then the next thing you know, she's at Blockbuster.
Her last pings around their home was like around 5 p.m. or something. So yeah, it makes sense. She would have left by those calls to her house. So I guess she was trying to catch someone at home.
But then Cindy also testified, though, that she knew Casey wasn't in the pool because Casey wasn't home that afternoon. Remember?
Yeah, she said that when she thought somebody else was, left the gate open, left the ladder in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When she
Because
told her coworker.
She thought she was at work though. All afternoon.
So who's she trying to reach at home? Because she knows just George isn't there.
She's trying to call her mom.
She's trying to call her mum, yeah, because her mum would have been at home.
But she couldn't reach her mom from 4:30 on.
Yeah, that's weird.
And Cindy didn't try and phone her back.
Okay, so it says down here, this is a guy that kind of analyzed this stuff. It's State versus Casey. It's a WordPress document. It says here, George Anthony said that he saw Casey and her child leave the house around 12:50. The cell ping data indicated that she was in the area or at home at that time. The ping data did not register a change in location until 4:18. She was then seen with her boyfriend at a video store shortly before 8 without her daughter. George said he started at 3 p.m. and it was his second day on the job. He didn't start till 3?
So
Why did he leave at 12:30?
yeah, how far away does he work?
Wait, what?
And did they ever check if he was actually in work that day as well? Because I don't think anyone's ever said, and I couldn't find anything about him actually being there.
We know they checked Cindy's. Why wouldn't they check his? That's kind of shoddy.
Exactly.
George said he started work at 3. It was his second day on the job. Casey was pinging at or near home when she called Amy at 1:44. Call ended at 2:20. And when Jesse called her at 2:52, Jesse said he recalled hearing a child's voice in the background, but he wasn't certain. George then called Casey a few minutes into his shift at 3:04, but Casey didn't answer because she was talking to Jesse. Presumably, Casey ended her call with Jesse when she noticed that she had another call. So does George typically get to work on his second day of work and call Casey? I miss you.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
what is that all about?
Especially when he thought that she was at work as well. Why would he be calling her? Because she supposedly left before him as well.
Right. Okay, so then it says there is a 30-minute gap in activity until Casey called her boyfriend, but he did not pick up. Another 35 minutes elapsed until she called her father's work, her mother a few times, and her father's work again. After these calls, she was on the move and attempted to call her mother, the house phone, and her friends. Her phone was pinging near her boyfriend's apartment. Assuming George was not involved and did go to work, then there was the opportunity for something to happen in one of those 30-minute gaps. But in testimony, Cindy Anthony talked about coming home one day and finding the pool ladder attached to the pool. She said she called George about it. George recalled the incident in an interview. He says, and we are very religious, not in the form I want to say at the moment, but we're very, very detailed on the ladder. We have an above ground pool. Whenever we're done with that pool, we don't get in there every single day, but we take that ladder off. I set it to the side and we just make sure that it's always taken care of. My gate is always locked. Though I have the one entrance, we have in and out of our gate. I'm good about that. But one specific day, and I can't remember which day it was, my wife called and was bitching me out. George, did you leave the gate open inside? No. Well, did you go swimming today? No. Well, the ladder is on, the gate's open. I'm like, well, I didn't do it. I don't know what the exact date was. All I know, I was working. It could have been 6, 7 at night. I wish I could be specific. So here's also something that I found interesting. This photo of Kaylee opening the sliding door.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember seeing that before. And then there's another photo here of Miss Jets and little Kaylee in the pool. So there's a lot of good info on this site as well. This guy has all, like, everything that he has like the transcript to back it up. And then Cindy's coworker, listen to this. Cindy's coworker recalled details of the incident. She said, I think it was around Father's Day. I want to say, yeah. She came into work that day and said that she thought someone was swimming in her pool. And I looked at her and said, that's what people do, is swim in the pool. And she goes, no, you don't understand. Someone's been in the pool, but I haven't been home. And I said, what makes you think that? And she said, she came home one day and I guess the side gate was open because she lets her dogs out. And I guess the dog started to go out and she was worried she was going to lose her dogs. Then the ladder was off on the pool and it's an above ground pool. And she said she always takes the ladder off and puts it away from the pool so that the child doesn't get in the pool. There's the ladder. Even if the ladder's down, you could climb on that little storage bench.
Yep, definitely.
You could climb right up on that storage bench and she could tumble in there if she wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think if someone was trespassing and swimming in their pool, they wouldn't bother to put the ladder up. They would do exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
Climb on that thing and hop in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like who's going to come over and be like, oh, hey, I'm just going to go for a little swim and go through the trouble of the ladder. That thing is pushed right up to that pool, too. I wonder why. It's kind of a weird position for it, if you ask me.
Well, it is when they're safety conscious and always take that ladder down.
Exactly.
They leave that box right next to it.
Let me see if there's anything else. Nope, that's it. Okay, let's get back to
Lawyer Lee.
Lawyer Lee. Lawyer Lee with his fabulous advice for his sister. Bizarre. I haven't even looked at chat once. Hey, you guys, I hope you guys are enjoying this weirdness. All right, here we go. So this is, we left off where she said, look local. Look local.
Number specific places.
Would you feel comfortable with me? I'm written down. Would you feel comfortable?
Oh, what I wanted to say is, if she was talking to Cindy on the phone prior to this, I wonder if we could possibly get copies of those calls to see what locations she was telling her mom. Because she's like, oh, go through mom, go through mom. I gave her specifics when we've talked in the last few weeks.
Tipping me off to those places now, or would you prefer that I just go through mom?
Try and go through mom. If you need more, if you need something more concrete, more specific, I can try to give you that.
Okay. And you want me to get familiar situations just with places or with people also?
More or less with places. I don't know of people at this point. I have no idea. Again, this is really the first outside connection I've had besides one visit yesterday from someone I haven't seen in 4 years, at least. His name is Patrick Bourgeois. He was a friend from high school.
Bourgeois.
Mr. Bourgeois.
He's someone that you should definitely talk to. His exact words to me, you know, I have a friend on the outside. He has a whole group of people that he listed off to me that are still friends, people that we can trust. So you can, I would definitely talk to him. I mean, I don't know the kid all that well outside of high school.
The kid?
But again, with him being the first person that even made an attempt to come and talk to me, that meant an awful lot.
Well, I can tell you, we tried to make an attempt through the police department on the 16th.
Mm-hmm.
We tried to make an attempt through Jose Baez on the 18th.
Yeah.
Dad tried to call on Saturday and on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Either the line was busy or we were told that we were not able to set anything up at that point.
Uh-huh.
My dad was on hold on yesterday all day, either on hold or the line was busy. Mom called yesterday. It was on either hold or busy. We were instructed on the 16th by not only Jose, but also by the police department that we would not be able to see or talk to you until 7 days after your arraignment, and that we could not set anything up prior to that. That is what we were told by both of them.
Did they have any specifics as of why? I mean, I know that you've been, you know, held back from coming and seeing me. I was even told that by Jose.
We were instructed that this was the court system and that's the process.
That's bullshit, because it's not. No, I'm just putting it right flat out for you.
I just figured that out, and that's the main reason why.
So why do you think that she told her brother that he could trust Patrick Bourgeois?
Some random dude she hasn't seen in years?
Because he went out of his way to come see her?
And somehow he's got a list of people that she can trust as well.
Yeah. People she's never met.
Did this guy really visit her?
Yeah, he really did.
So what was he like? He had a crush on her maybe in high school? And was
He
like,
wanted
oh,
to-
we're there for you.
Must be something like that, because why else would he go? He'd
Maybe
go
he
out
wanted
of his way.
his 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, I think so.
Weird. Like, oh, I went to high school with her. I'll go visit her and see what she'll tell me, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Weird.
I want you to be able to know that stuff doesn't get to us. It doesn't get to, from either through Jose or through the police or through whomever.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's not accurate. And people can have their own agenda. Okay?
Oh, Lee, I've known that since my first court meeting. It was fabricated that I even said anything to any officers. I didn't speak to any officers that first morning that I was here. So the restrictions that I've been under for the last week have all been fabricated. It's all been bullshit. The police's exact words to me. I'm going to tell you all of this because I want them to hear me say this. When Malik read me my rights in front of the other two detectives, flat out said, I'm going to hold you there as long as I can. There's going to be no bond. Period.
I do know that. He conveyed that very honestly and upfront to us, too. He did convey that to us.
Oh, he made sure that he didn't add that in any part of his testimony the other day. So,
he was instructed by, obviously we've had a lot of communication with Jose.
mhm.
The police have a lot of communication open with the DA, whatever you classify.
With the State Department, yeah.
Right. So it's the same thing. They prep their witnesses.
Yeah.
Just like Jose preps mom and dad or whomever else.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just the way that it works.
Yeah.
So, frankly, I knew
Mhm.
exactly how that bond hearing was going to go down.
Yeah, I had my feelings going into it, so.
I never had any thought that it was going to go down any way other than it did. And we had been instructed every day, because we asked every day after we dropped to Casey, have you ever gotten a letter that we've written to you?
No, I've gotten 2 letters. One was from the Dr. Phil show. The other was from another attorney that was postdated the 17th.
You've never gotten a letter from Mom?
I haven't gotten a letter from anyone except those 2.
You've never gotten a letter from Annie?
No, I haven't gotten a letter from anyone, Lee.
We have written you since the 16th, Casey.
And I've been getting things that were dated 3 days ago.
We've been giving these to Jose. Okay? So I need you to understand.
Okay, so hear that?
Yeah, so they're letting letters from Dr. Phil get through, but not from her family.
Jose. He said we gave them to Jose. And she
Jose's
rubs her
family.
face like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
She's in a spot. She's got to protect her own ass. And she's got her brother sitting there saying, your lawyers cut off communication between us and him and you.
Yeah.
And she don't know what to do. I'm telling you, I feel like he is, Dr. Malmo said, is he there to protect the real killer? It fucking seems like it.
Sure does.
It feels sick in my tummy. So why would Jose intercept those letters? What were they trying to say to Casey? Don't do this?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know what was in them.
I wonder if he put it in his book. I haven't read his book.
No, I haven't either, and I want to now.
I do too.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get it.
Scott Skulls said, I'm sorry, but this guy gives me the creeps. Dude, if Lee gives Skulls the creeps, we may as well just end this live because we've proven our point.
Done.
Right. Here, hold on, Scott.
Done.
All right. So she got a letter from Dr. Phil and from another lawyer. Wanting her case, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Wanting
Yes.
something.
Yeah. He
It's
wants
from
to
the
get in on
Dr.
that
Phil
one.
show. The other was from another attorney that was postdated the
CEO.
17th.
You've never gotten a letter from Mom?
I haven't gotten a letter from anyone except those 2.
You've never gotten a letter from Annie?
No, I haven't gotten a letter from anyone, Lee.
We have written you since the 16th, Casey.
And I've been getting things that were dated 3 days ago.
We've been giving these to Jose. Okay? So I need you to understand that he is reading these, or whether he's reading them or not.
For what it's worth, I'm not getting anything.
He's not giving it to you.
He's reading these.
Realize that, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to,
Oh, I know.
I'm just trying to make sure that you are informed of exactly what's going on, because none of us, I have no reason to say anything incorrect, okay? Now understand your rights in this, okay?
Yeah.
She's struggling with this news.
Mm-hmm.
That whatever they wrote to her was intercepted by Jose and that he might have read it.
Yeah.
She's not liking it at all.
Yeah, because she doesn't know what it is.
I wonder, is it possible that they wrote letters about something and Casey didn't want to use that as her defense, but it was like Jose said, look, it's this or they're going to fucking fry you. And she possibly had to make a decision to out her dad in order to save herself.
I mean, I could see it going that way.
And I don't know if it is legal for them to pass notes to Jose. Like Lee said, he looked into it. He did his research. If it was passed in the courtroom, then he said it's not monitored. But then he's saying, well, we're giving them to Jose. He's not giving them to you.
Wouldn't you think that?
Laura W., she struggles with this news but isn't worried about her missing daughter. She knows what happened to her daughter. They all know what happened to her daughter. You could tell. None of them are worried about Kaylee. He is talking to her about what she's going to say, how it's going to get out there. None of this is about Kaylee except for, oh, do you have some locations? Oh, I miss Kaylee. I mean, like Heather, like you said, this is an agenda. He has an agenda, and he's going down that agenda.
They barely spent any time on locations or Kaylee at all so far.
Right, but Scott, what she was saying is she got mail a few days that was dated a few days before, postmarked. So
Yeah, literally 3 days.
Yeah, so they sent him way prior to that. But I don't think Lee is necessarily worried about Kaylee or Casey as a person. I think they're worried about what Casey's going to say.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't once asked her, are you okay? Are you eating? Nope. Is everyone nice to you in there? Are you sleeping? Not once, man. It was pick up the phone and we're getting down to business.
Yep.
They all know. They all know. I just have a feeling.
Of your age and you being an adult, we as the family members, we do not have any say on your representation. We do not have any say in anything that's going on. You do.
Yeah.
If at any point you want to change jockeys in this horse race, you can do it. Okay?
Yeah.
All you need to do is as simple as you reaching out to somebody in the corrections department, anybody in the corrections department, to Jose, to whomever, and make it known of what you want to do, okay?
Yeah.
What my worry is, and again, all I have to go off of is what I'm being told by Jose and what I'm being told from the police department. And I know they are holding information back for their own means.
Yeah.
I know this. You and I, and all of us, we have to use them as resources.
Mm-hmm.
If they are not effective resources for us,
we need to find other means.
Right. This is something that I've learned from Josh Duckett, who is...
Wait. Who isn't a resource? The police? Is that what he said?
I think that's what he was implying.
So he's implying that the police are not a resource for them, but neither is Jose. So who is? Just their family unit?
Yep.
Yikes.
And again, all I have to go off of is what I'm being told by Jose and what I'm being told from the police department. And I know they are holding information back for their own means.
Yeah.
I know this. You and I, and all of us, we have to use them as resources.
Mm-hmm.
If they are not effective resources for us,
we need to find other means.
Right.
Other means. There you go, Potato.
From Josh Duckett,
yep, I told you.
Okay, so he brings up this Josh Duckett. Have you ever heard of him?
Nope.
Me either. So
nope.
He says, I learned this from Josh Duckett. And then he said he's the father of missing someone, Duckett. And then he says, and then she goes, yeah, I heard he called mom. So who is this dude? Listen.
He contacted mom.
He's contacted all of us.
He's contacted all of us. Who is he?
And again,
never heard of him.
Go off of is what I'm being told by Jose and what I'm being told from the police department. And I know they are holding information back for their own means.
Yeah.
I know this. You and all of us, we have to use them as resources.
Mhm.
If they are not effective resources for us,
We need to find other means.
Right. This is something that I've learned from Josh Duckett, who is the father of Trenton Duckett that's been missing for 2 years.
Yeah, I heard that he contacted Mom.
He's contacted all of us. I've been
Yeah.
talking to him on almost a daily basis, Casey. While he's got his own demons, and I'm not really outside of all this, what I've learned from him on how to manipulate the media, how to manipulate law enforcement, and how to manipulate attorneys, the way that we need to do this. And his sole purpose is finding Kaylee.
What is he talking about? This dude taught him how to manipulate the media, manipulate law enforcement? Who's this Duckett guy?
So Josh Duckett is the father of Trenton Duckett, who was 2 years old when he vanished from his Leesburg home in 2006.
I remember that little boy. Is he dark hair? Does he have dark hair?
I can't see a picture. Yeah, he does have dark hair.
I remember that story. Leesburg is just north of them. So north of Orlando, probably about an hour and a half or so, is Leesburg.
Right.
I remember that little Trent. April Dawn said, I actually know Josh. He dated my stepdaughter for years after Trent went missing.
Oh, wow.
What? Oh, my God. Well, Josh was talking to Lee Anthony daily, April Mofo. What?
About how to manipulate. What?
Weird. Laura E. said, I think the mom of Duckett killed herself.
Oh, wow.
Seriously?
He went missing from her apartment.
Because
That's
Nancy
sad.
Grace said stuff.
Oh, damn.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I can imagine what Nancy Grace would have said.
Yikes. Kaylee Dime said, I find it strange when he and Casey talk about locations to check that Casey said to look in places that are familiar to their family.
Mm-hmm.
The
Like
mom
the-
did die by suicide, you guys.
That's really sad.
Well, we're gonna have to see what the ins and outs of that one was. Was there SA involved in that case?
I know nothing about it.
We'll have to look at that because that's interesting that he reached out to them. Oh, she was responsible for the boy going missing, April? Oh my God, that's terrible. Okay, so he's teaching Lee and the Anthonys how to manipulate the media, law enforcement and shit so that they can keep the focus on Kaylee. Did they ever find Trenton? Was he ever found? Or was it a thing that he was never recovered? I don't remember, but he was cute as can be. I remember that. Because I was living down here at the time. It's weird.
Good.
He has strictly told me, I don't give a shit about me. He says that he doesn't give a shit about me. He doesn't give a shit about you. He doesn't give a shit about Casey or mom or dad or anybody. All he cares about is Kaylee. Because he's right. Once everything Kaylee has finished and done, all these other things will work themselves out.
Oh, of course.
So
He was
that's
never
what
found.
we've been going through is how can we effectively do that.
Yeah, I've even said from day one, putting my crap out within the media and everything, honestly, that's being said is complete garbage. The focus isn't on Kaylee, and that's where it should be. That's my only concern.
Right. Understand that because right now the only way that we can get information out to the media is through Jose. Now that you and I have a form, or that anybody has a form, whether you want to say it here or you want to say it in a letter, if you want me or mom or anybody to go out through the media, I'm in front of the media, I'm getting phone calls from the media 10 minutes in every hour of every day.
Yeah.
I can do whatever you need me to do, okay? If there's things that need to be corrected, if there's things that you want to make known, or that you want me to hold back.
Yeah.
Again, you already know this isn't the way to hold something back. But if you want something known or corrected, or if you want your voice heard, tell me, or somehow get that to us, and we will do that, okay?
Yeah.
Before we get into anything else, there's a few other things that I wanted to go through with you, and I'm sorry,
No, go ahead.
Questions, but
it needs to be done, Lee.
understand my rhyme or reason.
Absolutely.
Because we only have an hour.
Yeah.
I've already asked you who I can trust, and what I'm taking out of that is the people that I need to keep close with me. Maybe I'll find something out. And I've already asked you places where I should focus, and I've already talked to Mom, and I already know, and I'm not going to go through them and laundry list them out now like the others.
Yeah.
If you want me to do that later, tell me. Are there any places or clues out there that I can look? I'm going to list some things out.
Mm-hmm.
MySpace.
I don't know. Possibly.
Facebook.
Again, possibly.
Photo bucket.
No.
Your phone records. As in your
My
telephone records.
As in my telephone records, that's your best bet for anything.
Do you have a bank account?
I just opened up a brand new account. Which, Mom, if
Telling me where.
it's at Wachovia, I've already told Mom that.
So she had just opened a brand new account at Wachovia. Where was she getting money to put in a bank account?
Did she have another bank account before she opened that one?
I don't know. He's like, do you have a bank account? And she's like, I just opened a brand new account at Wachovia. I've already told Mom that.
Yeah, so it sounds like she didn't. So how is she funding herself?
Stealing from her grandmother?
How do you cash a check, though, without an account?
Cash? Can you get it in cash?
Maybe back then you could walk in and just sign it, but now you have to have an account for them to cash a check for you.
You can always go to the bank that it's drawn on and cash it there.
Oh, you could go to Amscott. You know that? There's a thing called Amscott here,
Mm-hmm.
and they're a check cashing place. If you have an ID, they'll cash it.
Oh, I guess that's how then.
She probably did it at Amscott.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she was making money from the shot girls, but I don't know how much because they were barely even paying for their bottles.
Well, would they not say, how are you getting paid by Universal then if you have no bank account? That's where they thought she was working.
I don't know.
They don't pay in cash.
True. Shared an account with her mom, maybe. But then
Then
her
she
mom
would
would
know
be
that
like,
she wasn't getting paid.
yeah, like, hey, why are you getting direct deposit? Like, what's going on?
So did they know that she wasn't really working and they just kind of swept it under the rug and just forgot about it?
Yeah, did she make money on hot body contests?
Mm-hmm, probably. Selling shots.
It's weird, though, because everyone says she was a good mom. Like, Tony says that Kaylee never spent the night there. She always went home
Yep.
with the baby. And the night that she went to Blockbuster, she had no reason to drug that baby. I'm totally off the drug theory. I'm totally off it.
All the people that she knew were kind of acquaintances that she'd met via Tony, though. I mean, the only other one was Amy, who she'd known for a long time.
And
She didn't really have any close friends.
And they all knew Kaylee. They were like, yeah, she brings her over. We hang out. Like, she hangs out with Kaylee. And then when she would go out to the bar or whatever, she would leave her with, what's her name? Cindy. But, I read last night as well that Casey slept with Kaylee in her room, and that Casey told a psychologist when she was talking to a psychiatrist after she was arrested that she would sleep with Kaylee and lock the door because she was worried that her dad would come in and touch her.
Wow.
Yeah. We're going to go over that after this. It's quite shocking.
I know that any mail that comes to the house, as soon as there's access, I want Mom to be able to go and do that. She has power of attorney, Lee.
I understand that, but you understand, power of attorney doesn't mean anything when you're incarcerated. how power of attorney works, that means if something happens to you, as in
Yeah.
you being deceased or you being locked up. When locked up, right? You are not locked up right now. Let's be
No.
very clear. You're arrested. You're not charged. Until
Oh, I know.
you're incarcerated in jail with charges on you,
Yeah.
power of attorney does not mean anything. So
Yeah.
mom cannot get this information willingly or by her own means. We have, so when we're asking you for passwords or we're asking you for information, because honestly, we can't find this out on our own.
Yeah, understandably.
So just keep that in mind. You know, if there's something that you need to communicate, to us.
Mhm.
The purposes of this Wachovia account, I'm getting off the track real fast. I'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Should I look into bank or credit card records of mom or friends or anything else that you may have either borrowed or used money from?
No.
That wouldn't point me in any right direction.
No.
Okay. Any clues or anything that I should focus on at the house?
Any clues at the house?
Outside of maybe stuff on the computer, nothing I can think of.
On the computer.
Okay. I feel like, call me crazy. This is what I'm thinking. So he's asking her, is there anything I should look at in the house?
Mhm.
Now, don't you think that the house has already been looked at this point
Mm-hmm.
by law enforcement? So what is he really asking? Is there anywhere that you've talked about anything? Because call me crazy, but I feel like he's trying to he's talking about a specific thing. And she knows what he's talking about. So it's like, where could you have possibly mentioned this? And
Like
he's
maybe a
just-
diary or
Well, that's why he's saying like MySpace. And she's like,
Yeah.
no. Right? Because you don't really message like that on MySpace. And then he goes, Facebook. And she's like, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is he really asking? Because her social media was already scoured. So why is he... I don't understand this. Why he's asking her all these questions.
It was kind of shocking to me that she pointed him in the direction of the computer, though. Bearing in mind all those searches that were on it.
Right.
Like, if she'd done those searches, why would she tell him, yeah, go look at the computer?
yeah, go see that I searched for
Well-
chloroform.
She's also
Yeah.
telling him to look local.
Yeah, exactly.
So did
Strange.
they okay, so if this was like some sort of accident and they put Kaylee out in the woods where she was found, are they maybe wanting to what? I mean, did Casey put her at a precise location and they're not exactly sure where that is? Because right around this time we have Roy Kronk getting a tip. I can't. What date did Lee visit her? Do we know what date this phone call was? Exact date?
I'll have a look.
I'm going to see if I can find it too, because I think it might be in this. Because in August was when Roy Kronk first called the police. He called twice. I know I am, April. He called twice in August, rather.
Kronk.
Kronk called twice in August, and then he called again in December, and that was when they found her, right?
Mhm.
So when did Lee visit Casey and have this convo?
Trying to find it.
Let me see.
Mm,
Lee Anthony
it's
visit
not giving a date.
Casey Anthony. Maybe this happened.
August 14th.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Isn't that when they recorded a phone call with him in the vehicle, though? Because I saw that date as well. But I'm not sure if it was this.
Oh, wait, no, that was Cindy. Sorry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to look when exactly Roy Kronk reported those tips.
Okay, so his was Casey Anthony was visited by her brother in Orange County Jail on July 25th, 2008.
July 25th?
July 25th.
Shut up. Listen. Roy Kronk. Meter reader Roy Kronk reports suspicious bag on August 11th, 12th, and 13th.
Three times?
3 times.
The fuck?
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes. 3 times in August. And
Literally one day after the other.
God. And his son testified that he told his son, Roy Kronk, said, I got a tip of where this missing kid is.
Yeah.
Wow.
And here we have Lee Anthony on July 25th going, can you tell me where I can look?
Mm-hmm.
Look local, Lee. Look local. If you need any more details, ask Mom. Or if you need me to get more specific, I can. Did she sit out in those woods with Kaylee that day? Is that why she was there for so long? Did she sit out there and put the freaking sticker on her mouth? Or on that tape? They ignored
That'd be
him 3 times.
creepy.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Lee on July 25th asking all these weird questions. And then August 11th, 12th, and 13th, Roy Kronk, meter reader, calls in the tip that there's a suspicious bag on whatever that road. I can't remember the name of the road. But he supposedly went to take a leak. Okay.
And then they spoke to Cindy on the 14th. After getting these calls from Kronk.
They spoke to Cindy on the 14th.
Uh-huh.
Well, you know what? It says here they spoke to George as well. When George gave that statement about Father's Day, that was, I'll tell you the date. Hang on. I got to get back to it. Okay, so this was August. It doesn't say the date. Shit. Oh, wait, let me click on this transcript. It'll probably tell me the date on there. Hang on. I know you guys can't see it. Oh, shoot. It's dead links. This must be an old site.
Oh. It's so annoying when that happens.
Yeah, his files don't have good links. Okay, but listen, I want to read you guys really quick because this is what I found, and then we'll finish Lee and Casey. But it says, this is from 2012, January of 2012. A Florida judge on Wednesday unsealed new, never-before-seen depositions from doctors who conducted psychological evaluations on Casey Anthony. Bye, Mike. The evaluations with Dr. Jeffrey Danziger, a psychiatrist, and Dr. William Is it Weltz? I don't have my glasses on. I don't know if it's W-I-E-T-Z or W-E-L-T-Z, but I'm going to say Weltz. A psychologist, so a psychiatrist and a psychologist, revealed Anthony's most recent account of her claim that she had been sexually abused as a child and her most recent description of what she says happened to her daughter, Kaylee, whose body was found in December of 2008 from depositions that were taken in April of 2011. Anthony revealed that she thought she became pregnant with Kaylee from a date rape. She told Danziger she was at a party where her drink could have been drugged and that she woke up with her pants down.
Oh my God.
She found out she was pregnant with Kaylee afterward and didn't know who the father was. Anthony told White I think it's White's, that she feared her own father, George Anthony, was the father of the child, according to White's deposition. Dan Ziger asked Anthony about how she could act normal during the 31 days Kaylee was missing. And this is what Casey said. It's hard to explain. How do you handle the unspeakable? By putting it in a little box, hiding it deep, and pretending all is well. In the deposition, Anthony told Dan Ziger she was repeatedly sexually molested by her father. She told White's her father did everything from touching her inappropriately to sexual intercourse between the ages of 8 to 12. She also told Dan Ziger that she was inappropriately touched by her brother Lee Anthony when she was around ages 12 to 15. George Anthony denied that he molested Casey, and his lawyer released a statement Wednesday. As he repeatedly said prior to the trial, during the trial, and after the trial, he never molested any member of his family, including Casey Anthony, and he had nothing to do with the death of Kaylee Marie Anthony, including what happened to her remains after she allegedly drowned. As Anthony told White's this in a deposition, he said she appeared unemotional and detached. He said she was stripped of almost any affect or emotion. It seemed like she was almost in kind of a daze or fog. But in the mental evaluation of Anthony 6 months before her trial, Dan Ziger said that she exhibited no other signs typical of someone who had been sexually abused as a child. Dan Ziger said Anthony had performed well in school and had no eating disorders. It doesn't rule it out, he said, but it certainly doesn't suggest it. The psychiatrist seemed skeptical of Anthony being abused and ruled Anthony had no mental health issues, according to the deposition. The depositions also shed light on what Anthony said happened the day that Kaylee disappeared. According to the deposition, Anthony told Dan Ziger she was awoken in June 2008 by her father, who entered the bedroom and shook her, saying Kaylee was missing. Although Anthony said she never saw Kaylee's body in the family swimming pool, she believes Kaylee drowned because she saw her father holding Kaylee's body, according to the deposition. Anthony told doctors that her father said, quote, "I'll take care of it," then took Kaylee's body away. She told doctors that she never saw Kaylee again, according to the deposition. Anthony also told the doctor she does not think it was an accident. She also thinks her father had molested Kaylee. "I think he held her underwater, maybe was doing something to her, and tried to cover it up," she told Dan Ziger, referring to George. She says, and I quote, "I was hoping she was somewhere, that she was still okay. It was devastating when they found her. I felt as if my body was going to explode." Anthony told Dan Ziger she slept with Kaylee in her bed and locked the bedroom door. Anthony said it was, quote, "an effort to protect her the way I didn't protect myself. I feared he'd touch her." Anthony's conversation with Dan Ziger matched White's, according to the deposition. She believes George took Kaylee out of the bed, had a sexual experience with her daughter, and in order to cover it up, killed her, White said. In the interviews, Anthony offered no proof of the allegation. White said in his deposition, however, that he found George's comments at Kaylee's memorial service about her smell to be unusual and very, quote, sensual.
What?
In the depositions, Dan Ziger seemed very apprehensive talking to prosecutors and sharing information that Casey Anthony disclosed because he felt uncomfortable accusing someone else of a crime. "I'm not endorsing this version. This is what she told me," Dan Ziger said in the deposition. Anthony also talked to doctors about Zenaida Gonzalez, the woman she said was her nanny and accused of abducting Kaylee. In the depositions, her response contradicted what her defense team told the jury in the murder trial. During the trial, Anthony's team said she made up the story about Gonzalez. But 6 months earlier, Anthony told psychiatrists that she used Gonzalez as a nanny, but Gonzalez just didn't kidnap Kaylee. So, yeah, that's the end of that article. But there are numerous pages of these depositions. So I just wanted to read that because I found that, and I wanted that everyone to know that existed because I didn't.
I'm just stuck on the smell thing. What was that about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. One of the doctors said that he made a comment at her memorial about her smell, and that the doctor, the psychologist, thought that it was a sensual comment. We picked up on the pancake thing on the
Yeah.
ultrasound. I mean, you can't deny this stuff, you guys.
That's gross. That made me feel sick.
Yeah, me too.
But also, they said that there wasn't any signs from her childhood, and I guess that's why they didn't testify. Because they didn't go on the stand, did they? It was just their depositions. So obviously, Baez wouldn't want them to go up on the stand because they would say, well, there were no signs of SA from her childhood.
Right. And they were supposed to be defense witnesses.
Yeah.
You know, and then that's why they didn't testify. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and going back to the 14th, it was George. So George said that he didn't recall law enforcement setting up any of the actual meetings with him and Cindy. But on the 14th, when they were on their way to visit Casey, investigators secretly recorded a conversation they had with him in the car as they drove to the jail. So that's the day after the third attempt of Kronk reporting what he'd seen. So that's kind of strange. So it's like they were acting on it, but Kronk just didn't know that they were.
Interesting. That's really interesting. If we can find maybe a video, if you guys want to look and see if there's a video of that memorial and maybe he speaks.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I've never watched any memorial, but
No.
I don't know if there's something out there, but we need to find that because, I mean, for this doctor to think that was an out of line comment. Leo Tech, the pancake thing is George was very excited to go to the ultrasound for Kaylee, and when they saw that Kaylee was a girl, he was talking about looking for the pancakes, and that's the 3 little lines that you see on the ultrasound that shows it's a female.
I found Lee speaking at Kaylee's memorial.
Where was it held at? Was it like outside, or was it at a church, or what?
It looks like it's in a church.
But George didn't speak?
I haven't found his yet.
All right, we'll have to look at that later. I'd like to see what they said. But I'm really curious about his weird comments and the fact that was brought up in the deposition. And then Leo Tech, I'm not sure if you miss about Cindy and the Jets in the pool, that her and Kaylee had a thing and she would hold her bottom up to the pool jets after stripping her out of her swimsuit. So there's a lot of weird things. I don't know how you guys can say for a fact that George didn't do anything, because George still could have done something and not hurt Kaylee. You know, there's a lot of different scenarios that could be going on here, but yeah, I've never heard it called pancakes myself, but that's what they called it, I guess. Oh no, Potato lost her internet. That damn English internet.
Ah, Potato.
Potato, come back. All right, well, hopefully she can still listen on our end here. Okay, so I know we got a little off course, but back to, he was asking, what about MySpace? What about Facebook? What about things at the house? And he's like, talk about the computer and stuff right now. So we're going to get back to that.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything on there.
Should I focus on the family computer?
Check the family computer. Check the discs of pictures that we have.
The family computer, the discs of pictures? Why would you need to check pictures?
Yeah, that's odd.
Okay, Nicole Marie, in all fairness, she said, I'm wondering if the ultrasound tech referred to it as a stack of pancakes because mine always call it a hamburger. It could have been. It could have been.
But the way he used it, I mean,
he watched her come out of Kaylee or Casey. Like, he watched her hoo-ha. Dads don't usually want to look at their daughters' hoo-has. Sarah Bell, I think it was made to look like a murder because of SA. Could be. Just things aren't adding up. Like, these things don't get said in normal situations, right? Like, my dad didn't watch my kids come out. He came in afterwards. But he said he watched the whole thing. He testified about it. You guys can go back and watch his testimony. Yeah, creepy. Creep town, dude.
Creep town, dude.
There may be a picture that may help with something. I don't know. I mean, there's
What?
probably 30.
There may be a picture that helps with something?
yeah, I mean, that's weird.
What?
Pictures, CDs of pictures that I made for Mom.
I've seen them.
You've gone through all of them.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in particular that stands out that you want me to
Not one that stands out particularly, but I would check them because there could be something.
Would it benefit me to, if I had the password and I don't, for the your version of the desktop?
I'll give it to you right now.
Can I have that?
Yeah.
What is the password?
RICO 234.
She's giving us her passwords.
It does not work.
That was the password that I used at the house.
RICO.
Oh, this is interesting. Hold on.
Letters.
Heather, pay close attention to this part, okay?
hmm
So she's giving the password, and then Lee's like, I tried that. And pay close attention to how she says to him, Lee, think about that, or something like that. This is weird, because I think she's kind of alluding to, hey, Lee, someone messed with that. Someone did that. Someone changed that. So listen, it's crazy.
Have to be,
Nothing's capitalized. No.
any spaces.
No spaces. And it's the letter O, not a zero.
I tried this, Casey. It does not work. I'm telling you that I tried this.
That's the password that I used before I left the house. That last time before I left the house, that is the password that I used.
Okay.
Who else has been on the computer? That's my question to you. You don't have to answer that.
Hear that?
Well,
Yep, she suspects something or someone.
Yep. Who was the last one on the computer? And
Yep.
you don't have to answer that. So who was the last one on the computer? I lost my spot, damn it.
Incognito Potato joined.
Oh, the British internet is back.
Yay.
Let's see if she can get in here. If I can find her. I have too many tabs. I got to find the potato. Let me dig and find the potato.
Unearth the potato.
Where is she? Holy. She's lost. Oh, there she is. Jeez. I had you guys pushed all the way down to the bottom. That doesn't sound good. I take that back. Okay, welcome back, Potato. We're just going to keep
I'm
things
back.
moving. Welcome back.
Hello.
I'm glad that your British internet started working again.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why it does this in the middle of the night.
Well, I mean,
It was
it's
being
Australia.
weird earlier
so-
as well. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty far away.
It's a long ways over the pond, yeah.
Mhm.
no.
Your text message records.
I know there's numbers, but outside of that, I mean, I know it doesn't show specific messages. I don't know if you can go back and see what specific messages were.
I think I have to go back a few. Where?
Yeah, I think we skipped ahead a little bit.
Yeah, because I kind of...
There we go.
Yep, there's the password thing again. Okay. All right, so here we go. We're going to listen to that part again. And Potato, I want to hear what your take on this. About the password thing. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you that I tried this.
That's the password that I used before I left the house. that last time before I left the house, that is the password that I used.
Okay.
Who else has been on the computer? That's my question to you. You don't have to answer that. Well,
She's like, think about
that's
it, Lee.
the password that I used.
In other words, who else has been on that computer? They
Mhm.
changed it.
Yep.
They
She's like, it was
changed.
definitely that. Someone else has messed with it.
And if he knew it, I'm sure other people in the house knew the password.
Mm. And she's like, Lee, I'm telling you, that's the last password I use. Yeah, some of her stuff, she's full of shit. But some of this is them communicating for real. And how natural is it for them to talk so, like, secretive and in code? And it's just icky to me. Icky.
Like they've done it all before.
They've done it their whole freaking lives, probably. Honest to God.
The last time I logged in on that computer, which was the day that I left, Mom was there when I did it.
Mom was there.
Mom. Okay.
Oh, what? What? Mom was there when I did it. Holy hell. I think we know who the last one on the computer was.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
The Kaylee is missing MySpace page.
Mm-hmm.
What is the login email and the password?
The login email is Casey Marie, CASEYO, the letter O, MARIE,
Why
at
Casey
yahoo.com.
I was just thinking that. What's the O?
Password for that one.
Kays, CAYS, 234.
Getting back to where I should look for clues.
Mhm.
So Mom's house, you specifically mentioned the computer. I've got what I need from the computer. Ricardo's house.
There's nothing there.
Tony's house.
Outside of maybe my blow dryer and my straightener, maybe a couple shirts, there's nothing there.
Jesse's house.
I haven't been to Jesse's house. You mean his parents' house or his apartment? His apartment, he moved everything out.
Either one.
Neither.
I know you've been there. At least
Yeah.
for-
I had been to his apartment a couple times this year.
Hashtag
His parents' house,
Coca-Cola.
2006.
You've got to get that in there.
Did you hear me open it?
No.
ASMR.
Yeah.
Your text message records.
I know there's numbers, but outside of that, I mean, I know it doesn't show specific messages. I don't know if you can go back and see what specific messages were. I don't know if there's a way of doing that.
Right.
Quite possibly, yes.
Oh,
'Cause
so
it's-
he might want to check the text because there might be something in there too that they need to delete. I mean, did they delete shiz out of her email?
Surely they'd be able to find it if they did, though.
But they weren't looking. They weren't looking that route. They remember their narrative was Casey. They weren't looking to see if the Anthonys changed shit, right? I mean, they weren't looking into the Anthonys ever, were they? As far as we know, like publicly, were they suspects at all? Because I don't think that they were.
No, they weren't suspects, but we don't know if they were looking into stuff.
Were, people of interest. There's
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, they might have been people of interest.
Mhm.
But I
I
feel
don't
like
think public-
Lee is trying to find evidence of something and get rid of it. And I don't know if it's necessarily about Kaylee's death, per se.
Mhm.
I feel like there's been things talked about that could possibly be an email, text, Facebook message. And I don't think it's Kaylee's murder, right? Because he's
Possibly.
asking her about people in her life and she's going back, oh, someone 4 years ago. Yeah, you can trust them.
Mhm.
I don't think he's asking about trust. I think he's asking specifically if they know anything about something. Because, like, Tony, she's like, I'm on the fence. So, okay, think of it this way. If you're dating a guy and you tell him, my dad's molested me my whole life, that guy's going to think your dad's a fucking dick.
Yeah.
So, on one hand, the boyfriend would probably be like, you need to, he needs to be in jail. So when he says, what about Tony? And she says, I'm on the fence. Is that because Tony won't go with a certain narrative because he's sickened by it? And she doesn't think that he will go with, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like Amy was her BFF, dude. You know she told Amy if she was being molested. You know she did. She had to have. We all have that one girlfriend.
So maybe that's why there's people from school as well. Because if she was being essayed from when she was, how old? 8?
8 to 12, yeah.
8 to
Yeah,
12.
that's a good point.
So what age is elementary school?
And then, 8? Oh, it was probably like
Oh,
4.
wow.
4th, yeah. And, at her age, who many people are still friends with whoever they trusted in 4th grade? So,
No. So there's a reason that she would want them to speak to them.
yeah.
I don't know. Lee's got some skin in this game because she stated to the doctors also that Lee inappropriately touched her from the ages of 12 to 15.
Yeah.
So as she became, I don't know how many years are between these two. I think it's more than just a couple.
I
At
don't
least
know.
5. I mean, I don't think they're only 2 years apart. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks to me like, just looking, it looks like they're at least 5 years apart, but I don't know.
I thought it was like 3 or something.
Was it?
I think so. They did say what age they were when they moved to Florida.
And I don't know
Can't
why
remember.
it's so hard to believe. Like, I see some people in chat, no way, she's a liar, da-da-da-da-da. And she may be. I mean, people that are essayed their whole life usually are liars because they've had to lie about so many things to cover up what's going on because it's humiliating and it's shameful and it's embarrassing. And they get this, like, shield about them,
Well, she definitely is a pathological liar. She lied about everything. And she was
So-
good at it.
Very good at it. And the doctor said she didn't have a mental illness. Oh, good question, Laura W. I wonder if Lee was abused. Usually guys that are abused, right? It's a generational thing. It goes generation to generation. I mean, we look at what, not just people like the Wells have SA in their family. People that look like me and you and live in neighborhoods like me and you also have those same SA going on in their families. It's rampant. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's true. Can happen to anyone.
And I hate to say it, I'm not accusing Lee of anything, but he went on to have a son. And now they have a grandson. Who knows?
It's been my main form of communication with everyone.
Did you really have a different phone?
There was really a different phone. I don't know where it is.
Oh, shit.
And that's something that worries me
Whoa.
because
Whoa.
What? Yes, I had a different phone, but I don't know where it is, and that's what worries me. Whoa. Okay. Never heard nothing about that before.
just were. I don't know if there's a way of doing that.
Right.
Quite possibly, yes. Because it's been my main form of communication with everyone.
Did you really have have a different phone?
There was really a different phone. I don't know where it is. And that's something that worries me because there are 4 specific... Oh my god, it cut off.
I was like,
4
are you
specific
kidding?
what?
Yeah.
Don't cut it off now.
Yeah, their freaking time. It was their 5-minute warning.
No.
Casey, you still there?
Yeah, did you get the message that I got? Yeah, we have 5 minutes.
No, I didn't. I saw the 5
Horrible.
minute thing, but it had cut off. So,
Yeah.
Sorry. Back to the. Sorry.
Back to the 4 specific
That's okay.
things.
Outside, there's 4 numbers specifically. If we could recover that phone.
Oh, listen.
What 4 numbers? Or whom or whatever.
It was Jeff's last number that I had. It was
Jeff?
Would it have been a 904 area code?
Yeah, it would have been a Jacksonville
Do
number.
you remember any numbers out of that? Because I have all the phone numbers from your phone.
You have all of the phone numbers from the phone that I have currently. Oh shit.
I need to know what I'm looking for.
It's a
Anything
90
you can help me with.
It's a 904 number. That's all I
There's
know.
like 4 904 numbers in your phone. If you remember any other numbers that I should look for, any combination of the numbers, let me know. Or,
Okay.
how about this? Do you remember a day or a time when you may have talked to that person?
Not specifically, because we talked very vaguely over the last couple months.
And would it have been quick phone calls or guys in 1 or 2 minutes, or would it have been 10 to 15 minutes?
It depended on the
I can
daily.
talk times 2. Okay, that's fine. Just you know what I'm going for. Okay.
Oh, definitely.
Is there any clues as it relates to anything, email correspondence that you may have?
No.
Your passwords? Any meaning behind the passwords that would be clues to any of this?
Yes.
What?
Oh,
MySpace
can we be any more vague?
As well as the computer passwords?
Does that mean the MySpace passwords as well as the computer passwords? What? Oh, I know, happy girl. When they got cut off, Lee stood up like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we all did as well. I was like, no.
I know, when I watched this last night, you guys, I was like, oh my God, no.
Yeah.
I did the same as you. I was like, continue. I'll let you know where you left off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, Leotech, he knows, she knows. Do you guys feel that way?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Let's keep going.
The computer passwords, no. MySpace and Facebook, yes.
Alright, so there is meaning behind those.
Yes.
I'll let you elaborate if you want to. If not, I can move on. It's okay.
Move on to something else. We'll cover that by other means.
Okay.
Wow.
How about your tattoo?
That's Kaylee related.
I know it is,
Mhm.
but I'll leave it up to you if there's any clue in that.
No, there's not.
Okay, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Okay. I know we got 5 minutes. Tell me whatever you think that I need to know, or whatever you want me to get out there.
If you can speak to the media directly yourself, coming from me, my concern is Kaylee. That's all I want.
Yes.
No one has once said anything for me, voiced that I love my daughter, that I
So
want her
true.
safety.
That's so true, though, isn't it? Not once did anybody speak out on her behalf.
Mm-mm.
Her family let her get fucking railroaded. Baby killer.
Yeah.
And that she and the rest of our family is my only concern.
I'm writing this down. It's literally going to be a quote.
All I want is to see her again. To hear her laugh, to see her smile,
I
and to
can't.
just be with our family. Nothing else matters to me at this point.
Understand that we all feel that way. Every one of us, okay?
Who is that man?
Baez.
Did you see his face?
Yeah.
This was taken from court, okay? So they ended it, and then whatever. You'll see. That's why it shows him. But it was funny. Oh my God, his face while he's listening to this. I want to go back and I want to play that part again, where she talks about her daughter. Watch her. I've never seen her like that.
Concern is Kaylee. That's all I want. No one has once said anything for me, voiced that I love my daughter, that I want her safety, and that she and the rest of our family is my only concern.
Writing this now, it's literally going to be a quote.
All I want is to see her again. To hear her laugh, to see her smile, and to just be with our family. Nothing else matters to me at this point.
Scott. And
I
nothing
understand that we all
else
feel that way,
matters.
every one of us, okay?
His side.
I've been hearing that from you, from her uncle, from her grandparents, not from her mother.
She's actually crying.
Hmm.
We got 1 minute, Case.
I know.
Anything specific that I should be looking into? Any tip, anything that you can give me?
You have everything that I feel comfortable giving at the moment, besides finding another means to get it to you, yes.
Did Juliet Lewis work with you? Was that the Juliet that Heather knows that worked at Kodak and Television?
She could know her. I don't know if Heather knows her or not. That's a possibility.
Juliet that you were friends with, so I was curious if that would have been the same Juliet.
Look into that. It could be.
Okay.
All right.
Right to the very end, he's still, we're going to talk about this. Let's go. What else do you know? What else can you tell me? It's never a loving word. Hey, sis, how are you? You doing okay? I miss you. This is awful. It's so weird.
Mm-hmm. Very weird. Potatoes. What do you think? What are you thinking?
I don't know. I don't think that Casey was crying because of Kaylee at the end. I think she's crying for herself. Like, I'm still not convinced that she did nothing.
I'm not convinced that she did nothing either. And I don't want anybody to think that I think she's completely innocent in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really shooketh that I feel like the whole family knew exactly what happened to this little girl.
I don't know if they do. I think that there was something SA related going on. But I don't know if they knew what happened to Kaylee.
Tiffany Lee Phipps, that's a very good point. She says, notice how she confides in wanting to see her daughter. And all he has to say is, can you think of anything else? Not, don't worry, we'll find her. Or don't worry, you'll see her again. This is gonna be okay. I'm sure she's safe. I mean, there's no talk of the condition of Kaylee.
Mm-mm. He went in there with one focus and he stayed with it the whole time.
Yep.
It wasn't about emotions.
But what was it about then? What was the focus? Because it was a masked focus, I think.
I think it was protecting what was going on in their family.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were worried about, all that stuff getting out. I think that's what he was focusing on, and that's all he could think about.
Their image and their reputation.
Uh-huh. I think that's what they've been doing like their whole lives in their family. This was just an extension of that.
And we were all blown away when Jose brought up the SA.
Yeah.
And we all watched testimony. And we all watched these jail calls, and it's like we didn't pick up on it. And yeah, Leo, he said are there any more clues? Are your passwords clues?
Yeah, the clues and the passwords. Like, what is that?
Clues to what?
Exactly.
And in a password? Who would think of
Mhm.
that?
Are there clues in your passwords?
And why would he think to ask if there's clues in the password?
That family, I'm
Like-
telling you.
Is this just something that they did?
Yeah, I mean, do people typically make clues in their passwords? Because I don't.
Can't say I've ever made a clue in my password.
Nope.
Hmm.
Half
I
the
don't
time I
know.
can't even remember the damn thing.
I was about to say the same. My passwords are the same.
Weird. It's just so weird. And then she made a point to say, well, mom was there when I did it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
hmm
I don't know. I'm torn after watching this. Because he could be, trying to save the family rep and not want the essay out there, even though the family didn't know anything. That's altogether possible, right? That they had nothing to do with Kaylee going missing, ending up dead, being found in those woods. But there was essay, and it was like an unfortunate situation that was going to bring light to it. Kind of like what I've said about Summer. Like, I think the Wells did things, obviously, drugs, but other things that may be brought to light because Summer went missing. Not necessarily because of Summer going missing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they could be trying to save face, or there could be more to it. But the depositions from the psychiatrists and psychologists are interesting. However, we know Kaylee lies. So we're back at square one, just like, Chris Watts. We're back at square one because he lies.
I knew you were going to bring that man up.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have
I
to.
think about it as well. I've been thinking about it too.
I guess it's always my comparison to,
Yeah.
behaviors. And it's one that
Well, we saw-
frustrates me because you can't believe him. You
Yeah,
want
you don't
to,
know what to believe.
but you don't know which version to believe. And it's just like,
Yeah, and there's always bits of truth as well that's scattered between all the lies. So you just
Right.
don't know which bits to believe and which not.
Yeah, I mean, because we do know the jet story came from Cindy's mouth. Inappropriate. Totally inappropriate.
Yeah, that's gross.
And for a woman to do that. Weird. See, that's even weirder to me.
It's kind of like it just slipped out though.
She
Oh,
kind of,
yeah.
like, was surprised, I think, that it came out of her mouth.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think
Baez
kinda
is like, yeah, don't we all?
yes, when he said
She's
that,
like,
she
yeah.
kind of like snapped out of it. She was like, oh,
Oh,
well, yeah, it feels good on your back and your bottom.
Like she forgot where she was and what she's saying.
Oh, yeah. Well, who doesn't like that, Miss Anthony? He was like so sarcastic too. Probably a little bit of truth in the lies. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I agree.
there always is.
Hmm.
Yeah, there is.
And I think too that ooh, that's really close up. Hang on.
Hello.
Hello. That's much better. I think that there's always some truth in the lies, but I just think that Lee's behavior is very, very suspect in this case.
And from his testimony, I really didn't get weird vibes about him or anything.
I haven't
But
watched
listening
it.
to this, I definitely get weird vibes now. It was very short, his testimony was.
Was it pretty like it wasn't?
It was pretty much, I don't know where Kaylee is.
I'd like to
Shut-
watch Jose cross. Why is my face so white? I look like I'm blotchy. I'm really not. Is that better? God, that's so bright. Like, oh, Scotty Skulls has a question. You're supposed to do hashtag Hey Jay. Hashtag fuck JB if you want to ask one of the girls a question. That's
Fuck directly off.
I gotta play that. That's one of my faves.
It's my fave
Perfect
now.
for today. Wasn't it perfect for today?
It really, really was.
And the God Almighty.
God Almighty. Fuck directly off.
When he says God Almighty, he doesn't say like he's like country, so he goes God Almighty. Like he doesn't say God Almighty. God Almighty. freaking love it.
God almighty.
Oh, Scott H., you are a unique character. You are. That's Scott H. But Scott Skulls wants to know how far away from the house was she, and how long did it take after it was reported to find her? Does anyone want to answer that question?
I don't know how far away from the house it was.
I don't
remember.
either.
I do.
But it was.
I think
Go on then, Jay.
It was right around the corner. It was like a block or two away. No further than a block or two from the house. She was very close. So
I thought it was further.
Actually, do you want me to show you? I'll like.
Yes.
All right.
Pull up a map.
Let me. Jay Hughes it.
Mhm.
I did this already, and that's how I found out that the school was right there, the high school.
Yeah, we were looking at the map.
Okay, so what was the name of the road again?
I can't remember.
You think I'd remember? I can hear like Jose say it, like I can hear it in his voice, but it's slipping me right now. Let me share my screen. Google Maps. All right, here we go. Woo! Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Ooh, someone's typing away.
Oh, that was me. I was trying to.
Dr. Google?
Yes.
She's got some quick fingers.
That was speed typing.
Like I was like ordering on QVC. Like, okay, how many of those do you want? Oh my God, I am so old. I show my age every time I open my damn mouth. Do we know the road or no?
I'm looking. They're just telling
Google.
me she was found 19 feet from the road. Okay, what road?
Just Google what road does George Anthony live on? Something Drive.
Hope Spring?
Hope Spring Drive.
Yep, Hope Spring.
Yay!
Do you know the house number by chance? Did it come up?
We can look at their foreclosure.
Orlando, Florida. Okay, here we go. Oh, there's their car. Isn't that weird? So would this have been Brian's house here? On the left? Or on
Or
the
was he
right?
opposite?
I thought he was on the
opposite or
right.
next to him?
This is Lumberton Drive. What? Hold on. This isn't... Why did it say Lumberton?
Maybe it changed names since then.
Oh, maybe. No, it still says Suburban Drive is where she was found. Oh! Shit!
Oh, man.
Oh!
We're going flying again.
Okay.
Watch a little person swinging her arms.
Okay, so over here, it's an elementary school. Oh, whoop.
Whoa, where are we going?
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna drop him. Holy! Why did he do that? For the love of Christ! Hold on. Let me get on Suburban Drive. Okay, this is the school. This is the elementary school. This ends up being a dead end. Okay. She was found. Let's go up just a little bit here. We'll see. Right in here. And there is no memorial because they don't want one there. They took down the last
They
one.
removed it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if we zoom out, Scott Skulls, does this answer your question? Their house is the red pin. And then you go down Suburban Drive. Can you guys see my pointer?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's their house. Go down Hope Spring over to Suburban. And she was found right in here. So if you zoom in. Oh, I know the legs. They're all floppy.
Yeah, they swing around.
So it was right in here, right? Yep, because there's the entrance to the school. It was just right in here off the... See that easement? There's like that water. That's what was flooded. Right here in this picture, it's not flooded. But this area was underwater. And I looked at the floodplain, at the map, the flood map for Florida, and it does get underwater, like the reserve.
Yeah, all the way up the road.
She was so close. I didn't realize it was that close.
Very close.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people's houses right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like right on the edge of that property.
Mm-hmm. So if you go down Hope Spring, what was their address? 4913. Is that what it was, Heather?
I never looked it up.
Oh, who gave me their address? Somebody gave it to me.
Not the number, just the road.
Is it Hope Spring Drive?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
4937.
4937. Okay, so here's their house here. Let's go. Let's take little dangly legs right down in front here, and we're going to drop him right there. Boom. Okay, so is that it, or is it? I'm confused when they drop me down. I don't know where the frick I'm at.
You're at 4929.
You saw me type it in though. Like
there you go. There you go. Oh, wait, back one.
Right here?
No, go back down the road one. You passed it.
Mm-hmm. This way?
Yes.
Oh, I went the wrong way.
Right there.
The green one?
No, you're going too far. It's the cream colored one or pink one.
Oh, with
that's
the
in between the green. Yeah, in between the green and the brown one.
This one. Okay, gotcha. Okay, this image was captured April of 2022. This is just a few months ago. She's got Easter stuff. You know, they still have that house in the backyard of Kaylee's. And,
the little playhouse.
Yeah, and Cindy did an interview, and she said that their grandson knows that that house is Kaylee's.
Oh.
Wow.
Let's see if they still have their pool. I wonder if they still have the pool. Do they?
It looks like they do.
It looks like they do. God, it's so pixelated for me. But it doesn't look like it has water in it, or is it shaded? Oh, it's probably shaded from those trees. I don't know. Is that little area, is that Kaylee's area over here?
What's the date on this shot?
2022.
This one as well?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Katie Shoemaker said they moved, I believe. I don't think they did, because they were in foreclosure and they, I think, saved their house. But I don't know 100% sure. But I did see an interview with them just a couple of years ago where they said that they were tearing down any memorials because they didn't want to see them. It was too hard for them. I'm not sure about the pool though, but I think I see the roof of the little house. Can you see my pointer?
Yeah.
It looks like this might be where the little house is. Wasn't it over in this little area where they landscaped? And then this is where the sheds are or something? It's like two sheds. What is this? What is this area? It's hard because there's trees and there's shade. But I don't see anybody else's backyard with that bright concrete looking looking ass. Except
Looking
here,
ass.
over here it is. Looks like a patio or something.
Yeah, they must still live there because the last time the house was sold was 1989.
Yeah, they didn't move.
That's when they moved.
So they must still live there.
It sure looks like they still have that round pool, though.
It does.
See, if your grandchild died in that pool, wouldn't you get rid of it?
You would think so.
I would.
I
It's
would
not
get
like
rid of
you
it
could-
even if that wasn't the case because that's all that's been brought up.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at the top. Oh, that's a shadow. That looks so weird. Doesn't it look like a person? Like walking? Like, doesn't that look like legs?
Legs.
And then like a person. I was like, is that a reflection? I couldn't figure out what that was. But what kind of vehicle is that? Because when you look at the street view, there's no vehicles there, but that looks like something big.
A camper?
Hmm.
I don't know. It's pretty big, though. But when you take little Google guy down here, there's nothing.
Mm-mm.
Well, they take the pictures at different times.
How much did they pay for that house? Probably like 80 grand or something.
90,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good night, Angie B. So there's a shed right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know these houses are so similar to the laundry neighborhood.
Yeah, it is.
And then here's the other side. So you guys think that Brian lived in the greenhouse?
I was trying to find where he lived, but it doesn't say anywhere.
So then here's another shed. So that's what I'm seeing the roof of, not Kaylee's house.
Mm-hmm.
It's the shed. Weird. It's just weird to look at their house and think like she still decorates for Easter. Like, I just don't know how I would go on. I mean, you do. I get it. It's just so weird to me.
Look, they have cameras and everything now.
Oh, yeah. I wonder how many people they still get coming out being looky-loos, you know?
Probably some now that Casey's getting ready to do her tell-all. Getting ready to reveal her truth.
Yeah.
I mean, people still drive by Watt's house all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was only a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if he lived on this side or that side. Because Mr. Creeper was seeing Casey in her driveway out his window. So I was assuming it would be this house.
Maybe. Because it doesn't look like there's a window on that other house facing the driveway.
Except for this little one over here.
Oh, you can barely see it, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. He said he was laying his fat butt on the couch and watching her out in the driveway. I picture him on his fat butt in the living room here or something.
Creep.
He is a creep.
What did Scott say? Somebody said, excellent point, Scott. Anytime the donkey makes an excellent point, you know I have to read it.
Oh, boy.
So my point is, it took 6 months to find her within a half mile in suburbia because dude spotted something sus. Now think of summer in that area. Yeah, think of the terrain. But
Yes.
Roy Kronk, the guy that found her Scott skulls, his son testified that his dad told him he had a tip to where a missing girl was found but didn't, or not found, where a missing girl was located?
Yeah.
I guess he got a tip where a missing girl was located, but he didn't give the son the name.
Did he ever reveal to anyone who the tip came from?
Not that I know of. I don't
Male,
think he
female?
no, I don't think he ever admitted that there was. I think the only way we know that is because the son said it. Because he says he just went to take a leak. And he came across it.
Interesting.
He saw a weird, something that looked sus, a bag in the water. But
I wonder why the son would say that.
right. I don't know, but he testified under oath to it.
Yeah, well, so did Amber Heard testify under oath to a lot of things, and
True. But we will watch his son's testimony. We'll watch Roy Kronk's testimony. And we will watch Lee's testimony. Because we want to put all this together. But it's kind of letting us narrow down who the important players are to watch and what's really, not really meaningful when we're trying to just break this down and get the meat and potatoes of it. So, no pun intended, potato.
No pun.
No pun intended, Miss Potato.
your meaty pigeons.
My beefy
Potatoes.
pigeons and
They're
potatoes.
loud and beefy.
I'm bringing the meat and the potatoes.
Yeah, they're loud and beefy.
She says she's bringing the meat and the potatoes. So, what do you guys got going on? Huh?
What?
You're talking to us or
Hello?
that?
That music was perfect for that moment, wasn't it?
I didn't hear it. What'd you play?
I could hear some music. I could hear it in the background.
It was
I was focusing
potatoes.
on that and not you.
Yeah, you guys are reverters.
In the name of Jesus,
Oh,
Father
yeah.
God, Lord.
I was trying to hear what it was.
No, I don't remember. I'm sorry.
It was your little pigeon song playing.
Oh.
I know it is, Happy Girl. She said this whole case is sus AF.
Oh, Heather Bratt found Brian's address. 4929.
Oh, shit. Good job, Heather Bratt. All right, let's go back to the aerial view, shall we?
Shall we?
The bad twin being good for once.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? 4929?
4929.
So it must be the one if you're looking at the house to the left,
Yep.
because that comes before theirs.
Yep, it was the green one. He was laying on his couch looking at her out that front window right there. Blit.
Mm-hmm.
Throw that whole neighborhood away. They're all creepy.
Yeah.
Right? God. So she went over to his front door, asked for a shovel. They went in the garage, got her the shovel. Weird. None of it makes sense.
Mm-mm.
But I am shook with what we uncovered so far.
I said none of these cases ever do make sense.
No, they don't.
Not to rational people like us. I mean, we don't have at least I hope we don't have conversations in code with our family members.
Yeah, thank God it doesn't make sense.
Well, I can tell you that my brother has never role played as a police officer with me.
Mine neither.
No, mine neither.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to conclude for the night because it is, we've been going 3 hours. So yeah, I don't want to keep them like 3 hours or less if we can, just because it's hard to replay when they're really super long. But do you guys want to reconvene tomorrow for Cindy and Casey calls? Cindy and George and Casey.
Absolutely.
Yay!
100%.
Okay.
I'm
And
excited.
we'll have Mal too.
Oh, Mal
Yeah.
later is off tomorrow, so she will be part of the panel tomorrow as well. Yay! Okay, so tomorrow night, 7 p.m., same time, same place. We're going to be going over George and Cindy talking to Casey. And it's about an hour and 15 minutes. Oh, my God,
This
Dr.
sounds
Malmo.
really
Dr. Malmo said maybe your brother should have, Jay. No. Just no.
Oh, crikey.
Yeah, so let's do this tomorrow and see what we hear in those calls, because those are pretty interesting as well, huh?
Very interesting.
All right. Well, if you guys have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. We will be reading them. If you have any questions or anything that maybe you noticed that we didn't, right? God knows we're not the be-alls of all this. we're just watching it going, what? Right?
Yeah,
with everybody
literally.
else. So I'm sure there's things that we have not noticed. So if there's anything, let's get some convo going there in the comments. Yep. All right. Well, thank you to all the members that are here. And thanks, mods, for modding tonight. And we will talk tomorrow and let this all kind of sink in. And then we will go around the panel and kind of see where we're at once we've digested all this weirdness. Because we don't stop. When we turn this off, we're like, oh, now I got to go.
Well,
so you never know
I'll
what we're
be
going to
going
find.
to sleep.
Oh, you have yes, of course. You're going
Maybe in
to
the
go to
morning.
sleep. The rest of us here in America will be
Up until 3 a.m. like I am right now.
Exactly. You're crazy. I don't know how you do it, but potatoes, we appreciate your time. And, staying up with us. Absolutely, absolutely. And I thought that they could see us on the screen and they can't. So absolutely let me fix this. Just hold on a minute. I thought we were on screen.
Roberta.
Okay. Fuck the fuck off, Roberta.
Fuck directly off.
Yeah, we got to get one of those in before we go. That's
Fuck directly off.
all right. Well, thank you guys for being here. And again, bye, ladies.
Bye.
Good night.
Get some sleep for real, Roberta.
I literally am going to.
All right, D. All right. Bye, Heather. Bye, D.
Bye.
Good night, Jay.
She wants to choke me out right now. But that's all right.
Roberta.
It's all good. All right, you guys, dance it out.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, 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 damn. You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to friends, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back. 'Cause I ain't got time, I ain't got time. I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't